Armand here with the forecast for April 22nd, 2024. This is really the forecast for April 22nd. I know last week it said that on the screen at the beginning, and for a brief time, that was actually the name of the video as you would see it when it appeared on YouTube. Thank you for Pat for pointing out to me that I was a little bit premature with that. Yes, I'm attributing it to Mercury retrograde and not my own incompetence. Anyway, I want to point out also, if you happen to be around on the 27th, Saturday the 27th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, that's noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 5 p.m. Greenwich. No, 5 p.m. UK, Ireland. That's not Greenwich, I don't believe. Greenwich would be, it's an hour back. So, but 5 p.m. where you happen to be in England or Ireland, then join me. That was the point for the May forecast. Now, live. So this week we are in the midst of Plutonian energy. We started out on Saturday, the 20th, 420, was 420, right? And the day before, by the way, 420, big day for smoking the cannabis. The day before is bicycle day. So this is quite a beginning to Taurus season. Very, very appropriate beginning for Taurus season, as is Earth Day on 422. It's interesting that they sort of made Earth Day land in the midst of the very beginning of the Earth season of Taurus, right? Okay, so those are all considerations there. But yes, we are in the midst of this very Plutonian time. We had Pluto square the sun on Saturday the 20th. We had the Scorpio full moon. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto on the 23rd, and we're getting close to Pluto station to retrograde on May 1st, but we'll talk about that next week. The point is we are having this Halloween in springtime. That's the point. Lots of this Plutonian energy, the energy of transformation. In other words, eclipse season isn't quite over yet. Usually at the lunation, the full or the new moon after the last eclipse, we say, things are dying down back to the, baseline level of havoc and confusion. But this time, the Scorpio full moon, which is always a little bit of a rough full moon during the course of the year, is continuing the sort of Plutonian energy. The solar eclipse is not, strictly speaking, Plutonian, but it's got a lot of it's sort of the same feeling as a Pluto station. And then we have the Pluto station coming next week. And then we have this full moon in the midst of it. So the energy remains high. It doesn't get back down to baseline level, really, pretty much until we get to around May 5th, I think, is the next new moon. That would probably be the time we can say, okay, we're back down to baseline. Meanwhile, this Scorpio full moon, with the moon likes to be covered, does not like to be exposed. Full moon lunacy happens sort of every month, but sometimes we have a good time with it, and sometimes sometimes not so much. The Scorpio full moon is a little bit rough, and it's also in the sign of Scorpio, which is not the moon's favorite sign. The moon likes to be in the opposite sign of Taurus. It doesn't like to be out there and cutting Scorpio. Not that not that we're anti-Scorpio, but the moon isn't crazy about it. Being made of cream cheese, it's a little bit concerned with the knives and stuff like that. So what this means in practical terms is that the Scorpio full moon, which is on the 23rd, that would be Tuesday, tends to be a bit of a time of emotional volatility. People are a little extra with their emotions. Patience is short. Power struggles sort of are a bit of a thing. It's Scorpio. Maybe there's a little bit of digging and cutting, some sarcasm and things like that floating around. Not you, but other people might be this way. You understand? Me, I might be that way. This is me, not you. So yeah, so this is Scorpio full moon. It's a little bit of a rough energy. It's happening on a Tuesday. It's not really influencing the weekend. It's not, usually I say the full moon is a great time to get out and have some fun. The Scorpio full moon isn't necessarily a great time to get out and have some fun. And as for Tuesday, Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So we have that going on. Okay, so it's sort of Plutonian energy, full moon. As we get later in the week, though, as we make our way through Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, the moon goes into Sagittarius, still has plenty of nice energy to it. And I would say that, this is, maybe a little bit better time. It speaks well for the weekend. I think by the time we actually get to the weekend proper, the moon is going to be in Capricorn. And so it might be time to clean out the garage or the gutters. Um, but we'll be here to talk about the May forecast, and that's work enough. Interesting thing. On Monday, the 22nd, in the midst of all of this full moon energy, this sort of bringing up things, full moon, we have the asteroid Pallas Athene once again conjunct Juno. Okay, that happened earlier in the month. That happened right at the very beginning of the month. And it is a time of saying what's on your mind to your partner or your potential partner. And so stuff that happened end of March, beginning of April may get a revisit now because of the nature of the retrogrades and so on. The square between these two planets, I think it only goes off twice because they're the way they're shifting themselves. But be aware that if there were issues, conflicts, or even good stuff that happened about expressing yourself back at the early part of the month, here we might get the second installment of that for those of you that have any relationship sort of stuff to talk about. That's part of what's going on this week. We have that Scorpio full moon. And then the other thing that happens, and this happens on Friday, so this is coloring the energy, particularly of Thursday, Friday, and then into Saturday, but primarily I would say Thursday, Friday. We have the meeting of the planet Mars with Neptune at the very tail end of Pisces. Now, Mars-Neptune combinations have two flavors, and you get one or the other or both. Mars-Neptune, the planet of energy, Mars, right? Energy, and Neptune, the planet that dissolves boundaries, they get together, and you might have this sort of like going beyond all boundaries. This is happening in Neptune's home sign of Pisces, too, on top of all. So this might be about going beyond all boundaries. That's a very typical manifestation of this. And we have the Sagittarius almost full moon, there's no value judgment appended to that. People will drive like maniacs, like they always do. People, the energy for all kinds of things, just going beyond the bounds. There's lots of energy. Go, I can do it. Go forward, jump ahead type of stuff. Tons of that going on. The flip side of Mars Neptune is the dissipation of energy, right? And the inability to get anything done. So these are two different flavors. There's two fish in Pisces. They swim in different directions. So some folks catch one fish and some folks catch the other. Some folks wind up catching both. You got all this energy. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to take, but this is going to be, the hell with it. I'm just going to stay home. Getting all revved up and then not going anywhere. That's a possibility with Mars Neptune. So, but just be aware that there's the potential for these extremes. It could be complete dissipation, or it could be kind of a bit of an inflation of energy. Now, one other thing that's happening this week, and it's happening right on Thursday, is that Mercury will end his, I'm getting foggy. Mercury will end his retrograde and go direct, which means that in the midst of this high full moon energy, I am really fogging out over here. This is very appropriate. It's annoying to me and probably to you, but it's very appropriate astrologically. In the midst of this high energy of the full moon, this emotional volatility of the Scorpio full moon, in the no boundaries or no energy of Mars Neptune, we have Mercury stopping and throwing the cloak of confusion over, let's say, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and potential, and certainly to a certain extent on either side of it. So, those Mars Neptune folks that are going off, they may be going off on really poor information. They'll folks will be, inspired to act based upon nonsense and BS. That's what happens with Mercury. Mercury's throwing into the confusion there. There's a high energy week, no two ways about it. Very high energy week. You have high energy plus confusion. Mars, Neptune, and Pisces, a little confusing, and Mercury stationing to go retrograde in Aries, to go direct after his retrograde in Aries. Lots and lots of potential for confusion. So we're going to see high energy and volatility and confusion. Does it mean that you should stay home and do nothing? Yeah, it doesn't mean that. I would say that you want to watch out for others being reactive. You want to watch out for your own potential for reactivity. If you feel that you're getting a little reactive, if you feel you've had just about enough of this and the hell with everybody, sort of take a breath and step back and take a little bit of a, take pause, count 10 before saying or doing anything. That's really true. Channel your energy in productive ways. It wouldn't be a bad time to go do some sensible exercise. Maybe a little bit of friendly competition would be a nice idea with this energy. There's lots of stuff. I mean, Mars Neptune is a strong sexual vibe to that. So, if that works for you, have at it. Everybody else, then you go play pickleball or something along those lines. That's what you can do. But yeah, you want to watch out, especially for like all kinds of miscommunications and stuff with Mercury. And again, high volatility plus uncertainty and confusion. So, as we go through this week, early on, high energy of the moon. I have to say, it's not a bad time to go out and have some fun. It's not a bad time to go have some fun. If you have to get stuff done, I'm saying it's probably a little bit more like, deal with things that are already underway. Even, chores are probably okay, especially on the weekend. The weekend there of the 27th. It's not a chore to watch the astrology forecast live, but other than that, it would be a good time to do some chores and just get some stuff done. Take advantage of the high energy. If something needs to be done, take advantage of it by all means. But, high energy, volatility plus confusion, a little bit of a mixture there. Do not write in the comments that you're going to spend the week hiding under your bed.